Okay, so I just got back from my 6-week backpacking adventure through Europe, and I have so many videos and pictures and so many great stories that I want to share. So I thought I'd put together a little video, and my friends and family can watch it and just kind of see the highlights of my trip. So the whole reason I even wanted to go on this trip in the first place is because a good friend of mine, Hannah, was studying in San Sebastian, Spain, and I had just graduated college, and I had saved up a bunch of money over the summer, and I had enough money to buy a ticket to go visit her. And then we kind of made a plan to continue traveling after she finished studying for about 6 weeks. So I bought my ticket to Madrid, and I headed out on June 17th. After I landed in Madrid, I got my bus ticket to San Sebastian. And keep in mind, this is the first time that I had ever traveled by myself in a foreign country. So I was a little nervous, but I felt pretty good about it because the plane ride had gone fine. I got my bus ticket, I was on the bus, I was headed towards San Sebastian, and I felt pretty good until I got to the bus station. So Hannah and I had planned to meet at the San Sebastian bus station, but when I got there at 8 o'clock, like we said, she wasn't there. And so I thought, maybe she got caught up at school. I'll just wait an hour and see what happens. So 9 p.m. rolls around and she's still not there. And so I called her on a payphone and I got a hold of her and I was like, Hannah, I'm at the bus station. Where are you? And she's like, oh, I am too. I don't see you. And so I started to describe where I was. And she said, are you sure you're in San Sebastian? And I wasn't even worried because I'm like, yes, I'm absolutely in San Sebastian. I got on the San Sebastian bus. I got off at the stop. Of course I'm in San Sebastian. But you know what? I'll just double check so that you feel good about it. I'll go ask the woman at the ticket counter and just make sure that I'm in San Sebastian. So I went over to ask her. And my Spanish is really rusty, and I haven't even taken it since high school. And so I asked her, am I in San Sebastian? And she shook her head, no. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, where am I? And she couldn't really speak English either. And so she started writing a note for me. This is the actual note. It says, oh, can you read it? You are in Vitoria, which is a city that is not San Sebastian. It is an hour away from San Sebastian. So naturally, I flipped out. So I called Anna back on the payphone with the last amount of euro coins that I had left, and I told her that I was an hour away and I was going to try to find the next bus to San Sebastian. And then I ran out of coins and I couldn't call Hannah anymore. And at this point, it's like 10:30 at night, and I have no idea if any of more buses are even running. So I went back to the ticket office and I asked the woman in the best, broken Spanish I could when the next bus to San Sebastian was, and she told me to take the Pesa bus at 10:45. So I wait outside. It's getting darker and darker. Creepy people are standing around me. The bus station is about to close. It's 10:45. It's 11. It's 11:15, and my bus still hasn't shown up. So the darker it gets, the scarier I get, and I just kind of panic, and I decide that I'm going to have to take a taxi to San Sebastian, which is going to be like 100 euros. And I really don't want to do it, but I don't see another option unless I find a hotel, which it's getting dark and I don't see any hotels anywhere. So I went to the ATM. I got out some euros so I could take a taxi. And I went to the bus station, which was closing, and there was one guy left, and I said, can you please call me a taxi? So he looks at me and he goes, San Sebastian? And I'm like, yeah, San Sebastian. I guess he had been watching me or listening to me, and he knew that I needed to get to San Sebastian. So he helped me get a ticket, and he told me he would wait with me until the bus got there so he could point it out, and I was just super grateful to have met him. And, oh, there's a detail I forgot to add. My friend Kira was also flying from Florida that day to meet us in Madrid. But I figured by that point she had already gotten to San Sebastian, and her and Hannah were hanging out and having a good time without me, and I was like super disappointed that I was so late. I probably looked horrible because I had been like trying not to cry for the past hour. I didn't want anyone to like know for sure that I was a tourist, even though it was probably pretty obvious at that point. But when I finally got on the bus, I heard somebody from the back of the bus go, Dot, is that you, Dot? And I looked up, and Kara was sitting in the bus, and it was a complete coincidence that I happened to get on the same bus as her. But I was so, so happy to see someone that I knew. And so we finally got to San Sebastian together. We met up with Hannah, and she was super happy to see us. We, after being up for 24 hours, got to meet all of her friends in her program that she's studying with. And then I finally got to sleep after not sleeping for so long. And then the next day I got to wake up in beautiful San Sebastian, Spain. As soon as I got to San Sebastian, I absolutely fell in love with it. It's this like chic little surf city in northern Spain in the Basque Country, pretty close to the French border, and it's absolutely beautiful. It was one of the few places I've ever been where you can kind of lay on the beach, look at the water, and then have these grassy green hills surrounding you on either side. So like I said, Hannah had been studying abroad in San Sebastian, and she made a bunch of friends from her program, and so I got to meet all of them. And they were all super fun to hang out with, and we spent almost every day on the beach swimming, playing volleyball, and just kind of enjoying the view.
Problem that you'd understand. We all need somebody.
That's Sam. He is hilarious.
I'm nervous.
That's funny.
Beer! Now I'm happy. I could feel it go down my pants.
Something crazy I saw on the beach was these two kids had buried like an exercise ball halfway in the sand, and they were running and jumping on it and doing these crazy tricks, so I filmed it really fast. I also absolutely loved the place that Hannah was staying. She didn't have to stay in a dorm, she stayed in an apartment, and it was this cute little place with a like with French doors opening onto a balcony, and there's a little courtyard in between all the apartments, and we got to do our laundry and then hang all our clothes in the clothesline outside. So after an adventurous week of exploring San Sebastian, it was finally the last day, and I had to say goodbye to all these friends that I just made. So we decided on our last night we would all buy our own bottle of champagne and take a hike up to what everyone called Jesus Mountain, which I'm sure has a cooler Spanish name, but that's the only name anyone seemed to know. So we called it Jesus Mountain. But it's just a mountain with a giant statue of Jesus at the top. But it has a beautiful view looking over the water and everything. So we decided to climb up and watch the sunset.
You did?
I kind of want to do it. It's so much fun. We're going to be on the beach. Maybe let's go for Mine's like this. Mine's like right over here. Mine's like this. Mine's like right over here.
Watch out!
Jeff.
You can't even do it now.
Here, San Sebastian. Bring it right there. Mine's like half lunch. I just go like this.
Hey, let me take one. One, two, three. I don't want the sunset, but I want people in it. I don't want just the sunset picture.
So after we watched the sun go down, we spent the rest of the night going from bar to bar, eating pinchos, making calimochos, and dancing till 5 in the morning. And I remember thinking at one point, a week ago I didn't know any of these people existed, and now I probably will never forget them. And so we had a wonderful evening, and we got home when the sun was coming back up, and we actually had a train to catch at 5:30 in the morning. So we ran home, packed, put our backpacks on, and headed to the train station to head to Paris.